Alright. I think we're on. Okay, got the max resolution set right. I'm only doing 720 tonight because I'm not at home and I'm not using my regular router. And I'm using satellite internet, so can't use as high as bitrate or resolution, so I'm only doing 720 tonight. So we're just gonna have to live with it for tonight. Once I get back home, I'll start streaming 1080 again. I don't know if I can stream in 4K yet. Wait for some people to join. Monitoring my stream there. We got one viewer on board. I don't think it's gonna be as bad as last time. Last time I was having trouble loading stuff, and I think hopefully I've ironed that issue out. Yeah, can bring up my YouTube page now. Pardon me. Before I can bring, like when I did it yesterday, I guess because I was streaming 1080, it took up the whole bandwidth. It's a little bit better now. I can bring up this. Hopefully I can bring up Fox. I'll try. I don't know who's aboard yet. Jason Satara is here. Hello, MLA30 in the cabin, says Jason Satara. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. This is not my one from home, if you're wondering. This is a new one. I didn't take my one from home because obviously it's all connected to my rig and everything. But I bought this one. It was a Christmas gift, and it just sat in the package since Christmas. And I thought, well, I could take it out to the lake during the summer. So here I am. I built this today. I filmed a video just minutes before coming on the air. I just finished filming, and I set it up here. I thought maybe we'd do some testing of it live here. I did a little bit of testing, but I haven't fully tested it yet. So that'd be cool to do that live. And I have my Panasonic TR535 here on analog channel 8. There's still a analog TV out here in the Red Deer, Silver Lake area. It's from Red Deer, channel 8. Relay of CFRN Edmonton, CTV Edmonton. I don't think the lighting's too bad. It was a little overexposed on this side, that's why. Bitrate situation, not being able to stream yesterday. See, I wondered if something was working. It took forever to get people on board and watching for some reason. It's better now. It's a lot quicker today. Yeah, I can't stream in 1080 out here. It's got to be 720. So the plan for the night is, well, we can talk a little bit about the TV, and we're going to test the MLA30 loop. And also, I mean, I don't really get into politics, but I thought because the GOP debate is on tonight, we kind of just like monitor it in the background, hopefully without getting copyrighted. I don't know. But overall, we're just going to do a stream. I might make dinner in a bit. That won't take long. Maybe I'll make dinner live, since everybody enjoyed the cooking stream last time. Although I'm not making like a whole recipe, it's just one of those packs. I'll have the next. Today is my last day here at the cabin, and then I go to camp and then I leave. I'm going to a young adults camp, and that's just up the way at a campground up here. And after I got tonight, and then tomorrow night, tonight's my last night, and then tomorrow night I go up to camp, until Sunday, and then I leave, and I'm back home Sunday. So, because tonight's my last night, that's why I was just thinking I could just do a live stream. So let's see if I can do the pitch. Oh, that's my Spotify. The picture-in-picture thing again. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Because I'm only here for a couple nights before the young adults camp starts, I don't really have much food. I have a bag of cinnamon buns for breakfast and some Raisin Bran cereal, and then some of those, I think they're Sidekick branded packages of pasta. Just about 3 of them for the next 3 nights. I had one last night, and yeah, I was thinking of making my taco recipe that I usually make at home, but I don't have all the ingredients. I was in town last week at Walmart in Sylvan, which I'm so not used to because I'm used to the one in Shore Park where I'm from. And so when I went to this one, everything was like backwards, and everything's in a different location, so it was weird. And I got like 3 things that cost me $46, including $20 for the HDMI, the mini HDMI to HDMI adapter. Well, it has mini HDMI and micro HDMI on the end, so it's like a splitter adapter where it has the 2 different connectors, and you just plug an HDMI cord into it. Because I forgot my HDMI converter cord at home for live streaming, so I had to run into Walmart last week to pick that up for like $20. I could go on Amazon. The one I got on Amazon was like $7-8, and I paid $20 for that, but whatever. I planned to do a live stream, and I didn't want to cancel it because I've never live streamed out here, and my grandparents are selling their cottage. I was hoping to maybe do one there because my grandparents are selling their cottage this fall. But I'm at my aunt's cottage right now for the next 2 days, so yeah. I've never streamed. I've always had the idea to stream out here, but I didn't know if it would work because of the Wi-Fi being slower out here. Because at home I have gig speed. Okay, let me see if I can get the... Let's add a window here. Window capture. Oh crap, it's not gonna... Yeah, because I'm using my Rogers TV subscription, that's how I'm watching Fox, it's gonna blank it out, so... What is another way I could stream it live? Oh, I could on the... Well, I don't have to. I mean, I'm not... I'm gonna have to do this just for this stream to kind of go back and forth and turn it on. It'll power off and go to sleep, this camera, like I did before when I first started streaming with this camera. So, I mean, I could have tried my Lumix, but it had trouble connecting. The other thing is it had trouble connecting to the adapter. So, I'm just using the Handycam because it works best on the Handycam. I don't know if the window is showing this. Oh, here we go. BG says, 1 short shutdown, doing fine otherwise. Yeah, it'll do... I mean, I'm not that far away from the camera. If it just shuts off, I just get up and turn it back on again. It's not a big deal. And it's only for 1 stream. Voice went out, back now. Yeah. It's because I didn't bring out my Blue Yeti microphone. I thought of it, and then I did bring it out, and it dawned on me that I'm not gonna have a way of getting audio for streaming. But then I remembered there's microphones in the camera, so I think it was at the same point when I was last week when I was at my grandparents' cottage. I was sitting eating, thinking about setting up the live stream, because I thought, oh, I'll do a live stream. And I thought, I have everything here, I packed everything, and I'm eating. And then it dawned on me, I didn't bring the connector, the HDMI connector cord, so I thought, crap, I can't stream if I don't have that. So that's why I went into Walmart to get this adapter that I'm using, which is not as good as the one I have at home, but it does the trick. By the way, am I sounding loud enough? I know the camera's about 3 feet away. You know, it looks closer, but it's because I'm zoomed in. I think I sound loud enough. You got about 2 hours for the debate. I don't know how long I'm going to stay on. I might not stay on for the debate. But I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, it won't let me show this. I wonder if it'll let me play audio. Is it playing the audio? Desktop audio?
Not had that after 4 years of Trump presidency. We're going to have that with Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, let's just gonna do that. Because it's getting back feed from the camera microphone. Or feedback from the camera microphone. EG says yes, clear. Okay, that's good. So I want to figure out sign up now to watch the primary debate. Just in case I do end up monitoring and make some commentary or something. I'm going to see if I can... Oh. Here we go. There's a live picture of it right here. I don't know why they're showing them. Oh, I guess it's because they're live streaming Fox Nation. Isn't that their digital platform or whatever? I don't know. Probably won't keep it on there just to like... monitor when it happens. Because I think, I might have mentioned before, I have a news account on Twitter, so I'm always monitoring whenever news is happening. So I always keep that in the background. I can't remember who's moderating tonight. I want to say Chris Wallace because that's who did the last one, but... Oh. It's, Brett Baer and Martha McCallum, right? I think. I don't know. I don't really care about the primary debates anyways. It's mostly like just like as they've been saying all day on Fox, it's just basically like an audition for the candidates. So they get to see how much people like them and how much people don't like them. So I don't know. I got 70 minutes, or 78 minutes left on the camera. I'm just gonna I got this one plugged in over here by the stove. Should get that. Pour my cup of coffee, I never finished. But, yeah. Okay, now that I got everything, let's go to get in the fridge and get my water bottle. So good. dry mouth from talking. I don't know why TV's doing that.
We're running around and we're administering first aid and we're helping people out. Here's the detachment.
I think the 5 o'clock news is on right now. There's actually an old analog like TV antenna on the roof. All the VHF, UHF elements and stuff. Or I think just the VHF elements. And so that's what I'm using actually right now. Okay, we'll just do that for now. I think that looks fine. So it isn't like jittering behind me or anything. Signal, the video signal was a little bit clearer last night when I watched the news. I watched the 5 and 6 o'clock news, and then the 11 o'clock, and then the national, CTV national. It's handy for when there's thunderstorms rolling through and then the Wi-Fi cuts out, and you have no way of getting like any other TV or anything out here, because there isn't like satellite or cable out here. So I just tune in to get the weather here, or I got my weather radio behind me. I got that set behind me that might go off a couple times. There was a thunderstorm watch earlier. It was like a minor storm that went through with some rain and some wind and a little bit of thunder, and that was it. And it's cleared up now, it's sunny again, so BG says picture in picture stayed, but you're out. Yeah, the camera went off again. Jason Sitar says audio here sounds loud and clear. So that's good. So we're looking better than we were last night. Last night it was kind of a bit wonky, the stream, or a lot last night, but yesterday afternoon. Because I couldn't monitor it on my YouTube page. Every time I tried to look, even when I went back to cellular data, it wouldn't let me monitor my YouTube page. But if I went away from the cabin and I walked down the other side of the campground, then it would work again. Then I came back to the cabin and it was working fine, but it was like if I was in here, there was some sort of weird connection issue. I don't know. At first I panicked because I thought maybe I terminated my YouTube channel by accident or something and nothing would load. But thankfully I didn't. And it was just like a glitch. But love storm sounds, Miji. Yeah, storms are especially. I mean, I wish I saw more storm activity at home in Sherwood Park and Edmonton area where I am. There's not a whole lot of storm activity, but in like Red Deer, Pinoka, Innisfail, Sylvan Lake area, there's like the storm belt of Alberta. So when I'm out here during the summer, you get some pretty wicked storm activity. Like we've gotten hail this deep sometimes. We've got some good hailstorms out here. There's been a few tornado warnings and watches, but none that have touched down here in quite a few years. I know years and years ago I heard from people that have had cabins here for like over 40, 50 years. Some of the older people that my friends of my grandmother and my grandparents, they know out here. I've always talked about years ago there was a tornado that touched down on the campground here. But and then of course the other one that comes to mind is, well, way before my time, but Black Friday 1987. But yeah, storms can be fun to cover as long as they're not deadly. Okay, I'm still here. I'm gonna look up the forecast and the radar here in Sylvan Lake. Here's what it is right now. Yeah, I guess it is partly cloudy. There's some more clouds rolling in, so there might be a thunderstorm. If there is and the wind starts blowing, because I'm streaming using the Wi-Fi, the stream might end abruptly, or it might start buffering and cut out, because I might lose internet. It does still say that there's a little bit of rain coming, so I don't know. Tonight by 6 p.m. could be partly cloudy with a risk of thunderstorm in the evening, becoming cloudy with showers overnight. Cloudy with showers into the afternoon tomorrow. But then, like, after tomorrow, it looks pretty good. So I can get the radar image. Here we go. So there's a storm going through Mascovus and heading toward Pinoca right now. Wouldn't be surprised if we get like more hail and stuff than we do at home typically. I want to see what's happening at home. It looks like there might be some storms rolling through back at home too. Yeah, no, mostly. So here's where I am. Kind of in the Jarvis Bay area. So the opposite of the town of Sylvan. Okay, so yeah, it already went through us, and that's the only thing we could be expecting. So okay, so maybe it won't be too bad. So hopefully we don't get cut out. Hopefully the stream doesn't get cut out or anything. It doesn't look too bad. We got 3 people watching live now. I don't know if that includes myself. No, I'm not monitoring. I'm still working on getting these streams a bit more popular, getting a bit more views. But we'll get there. I just gotta stream more. I have been in the habit of like getting in a good like routine for streaming. Oop. I wonder what they'll say on here for the forecast. Actually, I'll turn it on in the background. Turn up the volume and we'll hear what they say about the weather. Kinda. I know what I could do is just How long have I been without video? Miji says just keep at it. And Miji says, also says, alright, my break is over. Ciao. Okay. Thanks for coming aboard, Miji. Maybe we'll see you later on. Or I guess because we're in different time zones. Because we're in different time zones. I think it's the same thing with who else is usually on board? Oh, Too Many Interests is usually here, but I think he's in Australia because of his time zone. He's either I think he might be in bed right now, or he's at work. So some of my viewers are overseas. It seems like a majority of them are, and so with the time zones, it's kind of. If they want to watch the stream, I have to do it at like weird hours of the day or of the night. So, like right now, some people are at work and can't watch. But alright, have a great rest of your day, Miji, and thanks for stopping by. We still got 3 viewers on board. Jason Sitar says, how is the fire smoke in there? Here in BC, pretty bad. You're not near, anywhere near Kelowna, are you, Jason? I know my grandmother knew a few people here that evacuated from Kelowna and actually came up here, right here to the campground. And today is not as bad, but yesterday and the day before, it was a little hazy. If you looked across the lake, you couldn't really see it. There was a little bit of smoke. I don't know what it's like back at home in the Edmonton area, Edmonton Sherwood Park area. I haven't checked. Text my dad and ask how it is there, but here it seemed to be a little bit smokier than I was when I left home. Well, when I left home, the fires in Kelowna hadn't happened yet, but the fires, I'm sure that we're going to get smoke at home because of the fires up in the Northwest Territories in Yellowknife. So, yeah, the smoke has been not too bad. I mean, it was smoky the last couple of days. I did get pictures of, I think the original thumbnail I made for this live stream was this. If I can show it. Let's see. Oh, no, pictures. Let's go photos. Where is it? The colors were driven up a little bit, but how can I show that? New window, I guess. No, that doesn't work. Try and see if I can change this here. So far so good for the internet here. It's not buffering as much as it was yesterday. Yesterday I actually cut out, said I had poor connection at a few points. I was going to try again tomorrow, but then I totally forgot and I got distracted with other things. So I thought maybe today would be better. I was thinking of live streaming myself, putting this together, but I thought it'd be easier just to make a video than to live stream it. if I can do it this way. Oh, there we go. I don't know why it's so damn big. Why is it so big? That's odd. There, that's kind of what it looked like a couple nights ago here in Sylvan Lake, Alberta, with the smoke from the BC fires. That's like 2-3 nights ago. So there's that. Oh. Did Jason leave? I think everyone left already. Not even a half hour and everyone's left. I have no viewers as of right now, but we'll wait here. Unless this says 1. Oh, hold on. When I had my subscription up there, it showed a little. It was like flashing the image in the picture-in-picture there. I know that's kind of delayed on that, but because I'm monitoring the stream in YouTube Studio, and there's about a minute delay. Error: YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. I did this for a little bit yesterday. Hopefully it's not. Okay, we're back now. Is it working now? It's still buffering? Is it working? It was... told me I had poor connection earlier. But it's fine now. If I can get audio on this. No, because it'll just do that.
Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country.
trying to get audio through the. I realized I don't have the audio from this. Which I guess if I did, you wouldn't be able to hear me talking, but. Video capture device? I've got two different. Check one, check two. See if I can figure out why I don't have. Do I have it now? No, I do not. I don't know why it's not. Does it turn it up, right? Huh. Wonder why that's doing that. Hold on. Just trying to troubleshoot here. Jason Sitar says, thankfully not near Kelowna. Okay, that's good. I was wondering with that. Victoria, BC. He says there's lots of wildfires in our province, sadly. Yeah. There was lots here too in like May, June. There's still a few. Isn't there one in Enterprise now? Is that where it is? And there was one in. The major one was the one there in like Drayton Valley a couple of years ago in Alberta. Yeah, there's been a lot of fires there too. Stay safe though. If there's fires near your place, hopefully there's not. Sorry for the awkwardness here. I'm just trying to troubleshoot. The issue with the audio, I don't know why I had all the audio from this window. Well, I mean I don't have to. Nothing's muted. Again, apologies, the camera. We'll do that. Once in a while. I think I know what the issue is here. Okay, I have the, yeah, see, minus 57 dB. I didn't see that. Let me turn that up. Let's say, I don't know. Whoop. There we go. You hear it now? That's what the issue was. Let's keep that there in the background, I guess. Let's see how that sounds. Monitor it here real quick. You know, it's too bad Trump's not at this debate. I know his poll numbers are too high. And I think he's doing an interview with Tucker Carlson. He would make it all the more interesting to watch. But I know, I mean, I am interested in Ron DeSantis. Vivek Ramaswamy. Probably just those two, to be honest. Ron DeSantis. Oh, I'm just monitoring it and I still don't hear it. Why is that?
As many people as he possibly can with a message,
Can maybe now you hear it?
an opportunity, an optimism.
Can maybe now you hear it?
To inspire
I'm gonna
you.
turn it up a bit.
He has so many remarkable stories to tell in this year. When
You're
he
probably
finally
hearing the
starts
feedback from my
those
phone because I'm
things,
monitoring it to make sure it's
it's
working.
going to surprise a lot of people.
I believe this so thoroughly that it is time to take the Faith in America tour, not just on the road, not just through a tour, but on May the 22nd in North Charleston, South Carolina, we will have a major announcement and you're going to want to be there.
I'm too loud.
The 2024 election is our last shot to save America.
It's time to wake up.
There's nothing beyond our capacity.
The race is on, and Fox Nation has everything you need in one place. With Fox News Democracy 24/7, the latest on the campaign trail,
I am going to fight for our people.
live events, and an in-depth look at the candidates.
Tim Scott talks about big ideas.
Watch what you want, when you want. Democracy 24/7, only on Fox Nation.
I'm 37 years old. I was born in 1985. I'm the first millennial candidate ever to run for U.S. president as a Republican.
He's a total family man. He deeply loves this country.
He's run a successful business, created it from scratch.
Vivek is a born leader.
Very eloquent in his denunciation of some of the great currents that are flowing through our culture today.
He's somebody who stands for what he believes, even if it's not popular.
Brilliant, driven.
Okay, we'll keep that on the
back.
background. Maybe I'll turn it
He's the
down a little
smartest
bit.
person I've ever met. He has a very unique way of telling a story, getting people behind that.
Vivek has always been in a hurry. He's not willing to wait for someone else to tell him it's his turn.
That's why today I'm announcing my run for president of the United States.
Jason says, I'm behind 8 minutes, changes working fine. Okay. Are you behind 8 minutes? I guess you rewound or something?
Vivek Ramaswamy is an entrepreneur, innovator, and anti-woke advocate. But now the 37-year-old Republican is on a new mission, this time to save America by running for president in 2024. So, who is Vivek Ramaswamy? Vivek Ramaswamy was born August 9, 1985 in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Vivek is a first-generation American. His parents were legal immigrants and came to the United States.
His father, also named Vivek, and his mother, Geetha, moved from South India to the Midwest for a better life.
When I look at what my parents did when they came to this country 40 years ago, I look at people who did something that I actually could never do. Imagine you pack across the world. To be able to do that with a conviction to say that I think I'm going to create something greater by making that sacrifice for the next generation, that's something pretty special.
Like a lot of people who come from abroad, his parents were focused and energetic and desired everything for their children to be better.
I went to public school through 8th grade. Some kids who came from some pretty rough background. I was a nerdy kid, thick glasses, carrying books from one science class to another class, and was really studious. That wasn't too popular. I was late from one class to another, and I got pushed down a flight of stairs. It was pretty traumatic, and I ended up having to get a hip surgery. Now, something good came out of it too, is that my parents decided in the back of that, all right, we can't keep you in this school for high school.
Vivek then attended the private Jesuit prep school, St. Xavier High School in Cincinnati.
Yeah, there you go. That's perfect. That's perfect.
One of the few non-Catholic kids in high school. I read the Bible.
Always having an audio issue with the stream learning. Every time we do a...
It was interesting.
Okay.
It was new. It was uncomfortable.
Close my OBS window.
Vivek blossomed at St. Xavier. He was a nationally ranked...
And we're going to mute this for now. And I think... we still have some...
those travels, but is instead only another stop on that journey. So tonight, let that journey begin.
Oh, we'll wait a little later, I think.
Actually, excuse me. It's already begun.
Vivek spent his undergraduate at Harvard studying biology.
I first met Vivek in college at Harvard. We were both freshmen and we lived in the same dorm together. We were
I was impressed with his indoor.
To some extent in politics, and we sort of, would see speakers who were presenting at Harvard and kind of share our thoughts on it.
I feel like it'd be better outside.
Was also chair of Harvard's political union, the University Debate Society.
Vivek held a lot of views that were not the popular views of the time among the student body, and he was unafraid. Vivek is somebody who expresses...
Let's get my laptop right here so that doesn't know.
In his spare time, Vivek moonlighted as a rapper and went by the stage name Davek. He graduated from Harvard in 2007, summa cum laude, and moved to New York City to work as an analyst at QVT Financial.
He was working at a hedge fund that made investments in biotech companies. He was managing that portfolio.
Yeah, I think the problem is there's interference in here. I'd have to do it outside.
Individual clinical trials would be successful or not, and whether or not those drugs would go on to be approved medicines. And he had success in picking some of these things, including the drug that would go on to become the first cure for hepatitis C virus.
That success led to Vivek quickly moving his way up through the company, making partner at the age of 28. At the same time, Vivek was attending Yale Law School
when the debate starts, I'm going to move.
Intellectual experience. While there, he met his wife Apurva, who was enrolled in medical school. In 2014, Vivek quit finance to pursue his own venture.
And he mentioned that he was considering leaving his job and starting his own business. And he mentioned at the time that, it was a substantial amount of money he was potentially leaving on the table. And I said, Vivek, you shouldn't be someone else's employee. You should be your own boss. And if you have confidence in the idea, you should take the risk. It's worth it. And that's what he did.
A few months later, Ramaswamy founded the biopharmaceutical startup, Roivant Sciences.
He encouraged me to see whether or not I was interested in working at Roivant. And so I came in, met all the team, and decided to give it a try to sort of work with him on developing medicines.
And Vivek had big plans to overhaul Big Pharma.
There aren't a lot of companies that are in the biotech space that are founded by people in their 20s. It's pretty unusual. But Vivek had built such a strong reputation within the industry as an investor that he was able to really bring on board very talented, very experienced people who already developed medicines successfully. As an investor, you only have the ability to decide whether you invest or don't invest in a company. You can't really step in and run it. And he sort of saw all these different efficiencies in the way that markets worked, and he thought he could do a better job of it than some of the companies that he was investing in.
People said, you're not going to be able to do this as an outsider coming in. You know what? Pharma's run like a managerial bureaucracy in a government. I came in to break that system.
But Roivant didn't immediately find success.
The first drug that we developed was an abysmal failure. It was a drug to treat patients with Alzheimer's disease. The entire pharma industry had tried for decades to develop a drug for Alzheimer's. And so at the ripe age of 28, I decided that I wanted to take my crack at proving everybody wrong and develop a drug that I thought looked promising.
In 2015, Ramaswamy created the IPO Axovant Sciences, a subsidiary of Roivant, to front the Alzheimer's drug, raising more than $315 million in capital.
Well, what the heck are we supposed to make of this breathtaking Axovant Sciences today, with the stock changed under the symbol AXON, rocketing 99.3% higher on its first day of trading in a deal that some are calling the biggest biotech IPO ever?
In May of 2015, with the stock of Axovant rising, Vivek married his wife Apoorva. But instead of honeymooning in Europe as planned, the two celebrated with ringing the bell at the New York Stock Exchange.
It ended up becoming one of the highest profile drugs in all of pharma. I ended up leading what ended up being the largest biotech IPO at the time in 2015 on the basis of that single drug.
Then, at just 30 years old, Vivek landed on the cover of Forbes magazine, dubbed the boy in the bubble.
The entire scientific community was debating it. In fact, they were waiting on the edge of their seats to see whether that drug was going to work. And for my part, I thought I was actually, by the age of 30, within striking distance of changing the course of medical history for the better for these millions of patients who suffered from this terrible disease. So in 2017, we finished the trial, we turned over the cards, and it turned out to be a failure. The drug didn't work. And personally, it was devastating for me.
That experience changed the trajectory of his life.
I'd left a comfortable career as a biotech investor behind to start this company. And then here I was, failing on this scale, more gargantuan than I could have ever imagined. I went from being a daring young rebel
I don't know what happened, I just froze. Camera shut off and everything just kind of froze.
Failed. I was panned in the biotech press. My peers and my competitors relished.
We're back now, looks like.
And eventually that experience strengthened me. It even gave me a sense of freedom. It taught me
I have echo.
that if I was free to fail on a scale that big,
make myself something to eat real quick. Put this on in the background, but I think I'm still on.
On an even bigger scale the next time around and still be fine in the end. And that realization encouraged me to keep taking big risks. And eventually we did get drugs approved. Eventually we did get drugs to patients. The one I'm most proud of is a new FDA-approved drug for prostate cancer. The little startup I founded in 2014 ended up becoming a multi-billion-dollar company.
A lot of people have good ideas. It takes more than good ideas to build a company. You really need
I got this weird tinny
to
audio effect coming around.
He's somebody who has the ability to really think
Okay,
all
I'm
the
going
steps
to
involved and make sure that he's doing it at the highest level.
chat first.
And he expects a lot of people underneath him. He's somebody who is a boss who expects an enormous amount from his employees, but it's nothing he wouldn't do himself, and he is the hardest working person in any organization he runs. I think people are a little bit surprised who's this young guy coming out of nowhere with an idea for a company, but he's got a picture on him and able to deliver exactly what he promised to do.
Then in 2021, Vivek found himself at a crossroads again.
I founded the company, landed as CEO for 7 years. I wasn't even paying attention to these issues. The first time it landed on my doorstep was Trump's order on immigration, executive order on immigration.
This is the protection of the nation from foreign terrorist entry into the United States.
President Donald Trump signing an executive
This is
order
all I have
to
is
put
the-
new vetting measures in
I'm gonna make
effect
this
to
over.
tighten U.S.
Let me
visa
make
and
it
refugee
over.
policies
Okay.
with special focus on several Muslim-majority countries.
There was an industry-wide statement where they handed it around and said, can't you just sign it? About 200 biotech CEOs that had signed it landed on my desk. But I said, I don't know the first thing about this, so I'm not going to sign it. And I get called out on social media by some guy who says that I didn't have, his words, the cojones to sign
that statement, especially because I was the kid of immigrants.
I would move Cameron to get
sparking mayhem across the country following the death of
it's kind of hard to follow.
in police custody.
Then employees of my company stand up and say,
here.
George Floyd died, and
I
we need to
game
issue
or
a
my
statement
phone,
in
or
support
it.
of Black Lives Matter as an organization that calls for the decimation of the nuclear family structure. I refuse to do it. I cannot be a leader in good conscience who says something that I do not believe. Later on the following January, I wrote an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal in my personal capacity. I'm not speaking as a biotech CEO. I'm speaking about the censorship culture of the country that now causes 3 advisors to my company to resign. Very prominent people in U.S. healthcare. And that was my wake-up call to say that, okay, I have a choice. Either I can mostly say what I want to say, mostly, but do it through the filter of my own self-interest. Or I can really speak my mind as a citizen.
He needed to step down to ensure that the company could be independent of his political views, and it seemed like the right time. So he left and pursued this next chapter of his life.
Today, Floyd is worth more than $6 billion and has secured FDA approval for 5 different medications, including the promising prostate cancer drug, Orgovyx.
I think what I'm doing now is the beginning of my version of public service, which is to be able to speak out freely, to start talking openly again.
In August of 2021, Vivek took his experience and put it on paper.
He went to Harvard and Yale, but don't let that fool you. He's actually smart. Author of the book Woke Inc., Vivek Ramaswamy.
I've seen this from every angle in corporate America. Companies pretend like they care about something other than the pursuit of profit and power, precisely to gain more profit and power. And it's not just a scam that robs consumers now, Bill. It is actually a threat to American democracy itself.
The message of Woke Inc. resonated with America, and he became a leading voice of the conservative movement.
We need to turn that social hierarchy upside down, or at least even it out, by using any means necessary, not just through government, but even through the private sector, even through our schools, and even through our economy itself, including the use of quota systems based on race, gender, and sexual orientation to correct for those alleged societal injustices. That is what it means to be woke.
It's a book in which he's taken on the elites, their view of what life ought to be like, on Americans, on the vast majority of Americans who don't accept the basic premise that our country is systemically racist and have so much to apologize.
Vivek took a lot of stuff from the scene of the anti-woke movement. Vivek was out to fight the ESG.
I feel like I'm the only one I'm at home.
Environmental, social,
and
and governance issues that companies use as a set of standards to make bold investments.
Water
For hardworking Americans,
filters
chances
in the water
are
so
you have
good.
an investment account.
This is not
And
mine.
chances are that investment account has funds invested in asset managers like BlackRock or State
My
Street
grandmother
or
had one of these,
Invesco.
her family, she doesn't know
Money to tell companies to
and I
invest
didn't put it in the fridge.
ESG
As soon as
values.
I
Telling companies like Chevron
I should be
to cut
judging
oil
just based
production
on
and
what
focus
they
on
do.
emissions
But
caps.
does anyone else
Companies
leave that
like
out of the fridge? They put it in the fridge.
equity
I feel like
audits
you put it in the
to
fridge is
prevent
better because water stays cold.
to create a new option.
Right?
So that's why I
Or is it just me?
STRG,
That's the question.
investing in
I
500 of the largest U.S.
You
public
drink
companies.
water, go jug in the
The
fridge,
message
and
to
put it out.
corporate America is to focus on excellence over
Then
politics.
I said,
Strong
keep it out. And you use those water or coffee.
Financial transparency campaign. They want to educate everyday investors, like myself and you viewers, on exactly where money is going.
After 6 months as the head of Strive, Vivek decided it was time for a new challenge.
That's why today I'm announcing my run for President of the United States. This isn't just a political campaign. This is a cultural movement to create a new dream for the next generation of Americans.
We all knew or suspected that at some point that he would want to probably run for president.
We used to have that sense of what it means to be American. When we lose that, when
No,
we
you've
lose
been on for-
family, when we
you've been
lose
on for an hour, 2 minutes already?
lose conviction in our country, that leaves a black hole in its wake. What happens to a black hole?
Just
It
stick on
sucks
TV,
things
it
in.
might
Something
cut out.
else is going to
Yeah,
fill that
yeah.
void instead.
Also, that if I
Vivek
walk
was
in
not
the
right as
kitchen, About
is
kitchen
just
where the
and
is.
I think what it really allows him to do
So
is
you walk in there,
lead
you'll have
effectively
here
and lead quickly with the message that people need to hear.
I think at the top of a list of our agenda
There's
leader
Luke's for
priorities
Luke's
needs to
RCA
be
plug on
disabled
the
women.
check in there.
Those
Then that's
civil
why I
service
come in now.
protections. Those don't exist in the private sector for a reason. Take those civil service protections and throw them out the window and replace them with an 8-year sunset clause. Because you're not the president of the United States. And if I can't collect a paycheck from the federal government for 8 years, I don't think most of the federal bureaucrats working for me should be either. That gets a fresh mortgage. It's pretty simple stuff.
Yeah,
I think a lot of these government agencies now have gone so far off the reservation that we actually just need the only way to do it, reform it by putting some
It is
fingers
down like
in.
30.
The only way to do it is actually to shut them down, and that begins from the Department of Education to the FBI. We will shut down the agencies that cannot be reformed from within.
I think what he saw in corporate America
and
what he knew from his own life experience was
on the TV
beliefs that were being spread from these woke approaches to culture and politics and American life undermine the things that make it possible for him as the son of immigrants to succeed. And I think that's a big motivation for him. He fears what's happening here will fundamentally change America in a way that will mean that there will be fewer people that will rise like he did.
We're running for the win to take this all the way. And you know, I'll tell you this, I'm the only
Oh,
man
yeah,
ever
I
to run
can
for
do it.
U.S.
Oh,
president
wow.
as a Republican. I'm doing this for the next generation, and I'm in this race because I think we can take Trump's agenda even further than Donald Trump ever did. I tell those
Yeah, I'm sure I can
America
read.
first does not belong to Trump, doesn't belong to me,
It's
it
on the
belongs
stool.
to the people of this country.
And he's a dark horse and, an outsider. And he's going to need to make some moves here. And he's also got to count on some of the people above him in the pecking order to make mistakes that cause people to say, well, you know what, I'm sort of looking at him or her, but I'm going to look elsewhere. And that guy has hung in there long enough and seems to be a good alternative.
Dave's campaign has gained traction and opposition from the liberal media.
One of the lessons
allowed to enjoy the freedoms.
I disagree with you on that, Don. I disagree with you. I think you're doing a disservice to our country by failing to recognize the fact that we have equality before the law.
Skin and you live in this country, then you can disagree with me, but we're not. You mentioned in here that
I
we have
disagree.
3 different shades
Don, I
of
think we have to be able to
melanin
talk about these issues in the open.
Yeah, camera died. What I was saying is it's kind of a mess in here. I got like extension cords everywhere. Big red one plugged into my laptop to keep it charged.
Confident that you know that
And
gender
then all the cords coming out of the camera needs to be my cord and my tripod. And then that's that.
You know this as a scientist?
Well, there's
Or
X chromosomes if you're a woman, and X and Y. That means
There's
there's
a
lot of scientific research out there that
the
says
plugs
gender
here
is a
are all
spectrum.
weird.
Chuck, I
And this
respectfully
extension
disagree.
cord going into
Gender
the
dysphoria for
antenna.
most of our history, all the way through the DSM-5, has been characterized as a mental health disorder, and I don't think it's compassionate to affirm that.
When he's on the debate stage, when he's public speaking, he shines. And I think that's going to become more and more clear, and especially more clear when he's in the same room
Because
as some of his candidates.
they're just saying there was some heavy rain there
to actually
in
win the
BC.
nomination to become president.
So,
but
hopefully
one
there was
thing
enough
I
to help
feel
the
very
wildfire.
confident in is he is going to be the rising star in this race.
There's nothing more racist than to say that the color of your skin predicts something about the content of your character and your ideas.
Will he gain enough momentum to win the nomination?
A lot of Republicans agree with what he has to say about the presence of woke philosophy in our schools and our business enterprise.
Spreads type stuff, but you can put it in a pan until it melts like an oil.
7 or 8 or 9 months
It's just kind of solid, but you can just put it in there and move it around and it'll swirl it around and it'll melt.
It has a vision on
I prefer using
Republicans to say
my butter
outside
infused olive oil that I use at home, but I'm not at home and not in my place. I really keep dropping everything.
Such large support for the top 2 candidates that exist today. I think that's the biggest challenge.
Bluntly, I respected Donald Trump for what he did coming in as an outsider in 2015. You only get to be an outsider once. I'm coming in as a new outsider. As far as I know, I'm the only real outsider in this race.
His biggest challenge will be get known,
Check the
followed
live chat.
closely by developing a message that allows a virtual unknown to
I might be
galvanize
buffering a bit.
millions of people to vote for him, and
Let's wait and see if that
particularly in
cuts
the
out.
first four contests, hundreds of thousands of very skeptical voters in Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, and South Carolina. And he's going to have to get known to those people and convince them to take a very heavy, bet on a very outside chance, which is what he is.
Vivek
people on
is
board
betting
right
his
now.
own money.
Stream.
He can take it all the way, putting an 8-figure investment in his own campaign.
I wasn't born rich, but I've built companies and had success, and I'm investing heavily in the campaign. But that's not even going to be what lifts this up. What lifts this up is actually a grassroots uprising of small dollar donors that want to take this America First agenda to the next level.
He's doing this because he thinks it's the right thing to do.
I don't know what YouTube is talking
He
about.
has the luxury with his wealth to decide what matters and what doesn't matter, and this is how he wants to choose to spend his time.
Continue to monitor it here on my end.
Whether he's successful or not, I hope he changes the conversation in this country for the better.
He's got to raise more money, and that's generally a sign of, particularly in this day and age, of generating more support if you're getting more small dollar donors to cross that threshold by pushing the donate button on their computer.
E pluribus unum. From many, one. You see, that is the dream that won the American Revolution. That is the dream that reunited us after that Civil War. That is the dream that won us 2 world wars and the Cold War. That is the dream that still gives hope to the free world. And if we can revive that dream over this fractious group identity nonsense, then nobody in the world, not a nation, not a corporation, not a virus is going to defeat us. That is what American exceptionalism is all about, and that is what we will revive to save this great nation. Thank you. God bless you. God bless your families. God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
I mean, this is I bought them steel non-stick pot, so I mean, it shouldn't stick, but it's put the coconut oil on just to be safe. And let that come to a boil again. My stream seems fine. It says that I'm having like an error, and it can't support the video, but it's streaming fine. It's not buffering or anything. How's it working out on your end? On your guys' end? Well, so far so good, besides I got the weird ass error thing that means nothing at this point. So far. I don't think. Debate's set to start in 15 minutes.
Sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Our presentation will begin shortly.
Oh. Okay, I gotta mute that because of copyright. Probably let it play long enough because I'm monitoring my phone. I'm still fine with the stream. I don't have any of them watching, so I wonder if they left because there's issues with the buffering.
These red clearance running my veins. I might have moved, but that don't change the fact that I grew up in a small town. We say bless your heart, and y'all come back now. Y'all come back now. Y'all come back now. Can't judge a book by its
Gonna mute that for copyright. go ahead and just make my dinner here. Okay, now I'm back to excellent connection. That's good. I don't know what the hell is going on. I got some like ringing noise. I noticed that when I was cooking. Check 1, check 2. Oh. Check 1, check 2. A bit better now. Stream quality seems to be back though. Also, the neighbors next door to the cottage were really good friends with me. Offered me some milk. Told me to pour like half of his milk into a jug. First of all, I think it was like 3.25% milk, like 3%, 3% milk, yeah. I usually either drink 1 or 2%, but I'll take anything I get as a kind offer. But he told me to only pour half because he wanted some, that's why I did it, pour half in here. I couldn't find anything to put it in here. And then I brought it back, he's like, it didn't look like you took very much. No, I didn't because I almost be here for a day. It's funny because before, they kept asking me how much milk I was making pasta last night. And I put in the water and getting ready to boil, and I realized, it dawns on me, shit, I don't have milk to put in. And so I went to someone else I know, a neighbor's by my grandmother's cow, and I got some acid she had milk. I think it was just 15% cream. Like, okay. She gave me a cup of that, and I used that. Put that out here. And then last night, I got offered that milk that I showed in the container, and I poured that in there. So, and I kept saying, I don't think I'll need milk, I'll be fine. I love the boil. I guess I didn't know boil pasta, right? I didn't realize that soon. I'm just like, I'm just cooking my pasta and putting the boil and getting the water in the bowl, and I just realized I didn't know. For some reason I thought, but my grandmother was saying, she's like, sure you don't want milk, I gotta eat your cereal. I'm like, oh, fine, yeah. Sometimes if I have cereal, I have it dry on the side with the piece of toast or some cinnamon or something. Is that a weird thing? It's just a weird thing that I do. But I didn't think I needed milk until it was dawned on me last night when I was making that pasta that you need to boil with water and milk. A cup of water and a cup of milk usually it calls for most of those packages to be boiled in. And I'm like, oh, I need milk. So, I got that ringing again. I can hear it. What the hell is that? Is anyone else here? I don't know if anyone's here. Probably not, because they don't want to listen to that. No one's here right now. Error. YouTube is not. Now it's back to an error again. Don't tell me the stream is screwing up again. Well, I'm gonna just stay in here. I don't wanna mess with it. I've been good for about an hour, so maybe I'll have to end the stream earlier. I don't know. Debate starts in 3 minutes. Here's the thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move my laptop. Enough extension to move this over here. Fix something here. I don't know why this is happening. But I'm back now. I don't know if I have audio or not on the debate. Right now I'm monitoring it on not my TV, on the TV. So.
Thank you, Jesse, and welcome to Wisconsin. Good evening from Milwaukee. I'm Bill Hemmer.
And I'm Dana Perino. We are less than 30 minutes away from the opening salvo in this first debate of the Republican presidential campaign season.
So 8 candidates will be on stage at the Fiserv Forum behind us. They will be fighting for their political lives. You know, a great performance could jumpstart a path to the White House, but a poor showing could be lights out tonight.
Coming up during the next half hour, we will check in with our debate moderators, Brett Baer and Martha McCallum. And we will talk to a number of experts, including Britt Hume, Harold Ford, and Trey Gowdy.
Kellyanne Conway is here, Karl Rove and Laura Ingraham. We'll get a prediction from Sean Hannity, and we'll get live reports from the White House and from right here in Milwaukee.
And that is where we begin tonight. It's time to look at the final preparations, and Bill Malugin joins us. Good evening to you, Bill.
Dana, good evening to you. Look, it goes without saying there is a lot on the line for these candidates tonight. These first debates always seem to get the most attention during every campaign cycle, right? So that means this debate tonight is a huge chance for these candidates to really make a first impression with voters who are watching at home. For those voters, it's going to be the first time seeing all these candidates on stage together, face-to-face, debating ideas in person under the bright lights in front of a national audience. There will be chances for folks to have a breakout moment on that stage, likely, because remember, it's not just going to be Republicans watching tonight. There will be independents. There will likely be Democrats. These candidates know that. They are looking to take advantage, and they want to shake this race up. We're almost there, guys. Send it back to you.
Yeah.
All right, great report update for us. Thank you, Bill Malusian.
Thank you, Bill. Our debate moderators are in their chairs. Brett Baer and Martha McCallum, they've been working all week. What's it like, guys? Good evening.
We're not in the chairs yet. We're backstage. This is where all the candidates are going to be lined up right here, and we're getting ready to go. Martha and I, it feels like the first day of school. We've got our binders.
We've got our binder, and wouldn't everyone like to know what's in the binder? But you're going to find out in a short time. On our way here, we ran into some of those that are getting ready to come out. They seem pretty pumped up and excited, as are we. So we wanted to show you what it's like back here.
The crowd is big, probably 4,000, maybe plus, and they're fired up. They've been in the seats for a while. They think they're anxious to get started, and we'll be walking out, giving them a little preamble before everything starts, and then we will get to the debate moderator desk and start asking questions.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
So, Bill, Dana, we'll send it back to you. This is kind of like the Oscars, behind the scenes.
I love that. I love that.
Hey, it looks fantastic. We'll see you guys in about 28 minutes. Brett and Martha,
Great pre-show, you guys. We'll see you later.
Just in case this gets taken down, because this is not my news organization, and this is not my content. The debate on Fox News Channel. So I don't really have the right to be streaming it technically, I guess, but I could get taken down for something like that. I'm assuming. So just be safe. I'm turning down the audio. I'm just going to listen on my TV. Maybe I could turn it up a little bit. But get my dinner dish out first.
Sometimes we overlook. I mean, we're excited. There's a lot of excitement here in Milwaukee, but everyone doesn't get to pick their own leaders. And the fact that we get to hear them tonight debate one another is worth celebrating. It's also a chance to plus up your weaknesses. You know, my friend Tim Scott is perceived as being too nice.
I'm not sure you can be too nice, but people say too nice. Is he enough of a fighter? It's a chance tonight to say, you know what, I do have another side to me. So you can not only accentuate a strength, but plus up a weakness in the debate tonight.
But you know what they say, you should always marry the nice guy and being a nice. You are a nice guy as well. Harold Ford Jr., you've debated, and not on the presidential stage yet. We're waiting to see that. But when you are getting in these moments just before the debate, how important is it to remember who you are rather than who the consultants told you to be?
It's probably the best thing to think about. When you get in one of these races, and Trey and I've been in races before, you're reminded that campaigns and politics are about people. I was working out this morning to the Oliver Anthony song, Richmond North of Richmond, and it reminds you that at your best, in politics at its best responds to people, and tries to respond to people's aspirations. And tonight, these candidates are going to do two things. One, most people don't know who they are. They know who Donald Trump is, but they don't know who they are. So they're going to have a real opportunity to present themselves and present their ideas. And how do they do it? They talk about how they're going to solve problems the way we were talking about earlier today. And at the same time, talk about how you're going to reach across the aisle. Two, that room is a lecture. It's almost like everybody feels like it's the first day of school. I know most people there are Republicans, but they're old pals, and I'm walking through the halls and enjoying that. Finally, President Trump chose not to come. I think depending on how well everyone does, DeSantis, Swami, Christie,
He's wired everywhere, kind of.
We're about to find out. Gentlemen, stand by here more on you, okay? When we come back, we will break out. We will back out.
Miami will give us his predictions about what will happen during tonight's debate.
Okay. I guess it's not even 7 o'clock yet, it's only 6:38. But I'm here, so.
Looks like 20 minutes on the clock for the big countdown. President Biden, meanwhile, is on vacation. He is out west in California. And earlier today, Democratic Party officials refused to commit the president to debating the eventual Republican nominee during the general election. As been done before, Peter Ducey joins us tonight from the Watchalong White House. Good evening, Peter.
Bill, today marked with a spin room. President Biden took a spin class, and when he emerged to continue vacation, he said he's going to try to watch as much of tonight's debate as he can. Biden campaign staffer texted me this afternoon to let me know Dark Brandon will also be watching. That is the meme that digital savvy staffers use to try to make second-side counter-programming tonight focus heavily on abortion. Particularly, the Democrats want to expand access, Republicans want to limit access. And everybody that you see on stage tonight wants a chance to eventually debate President Biden. If he shows that his team would not commit to a general election debate, despite many, many, many promises to restore norms.
Peter, thank you. Peter Ducey from the White House.
I was just going to say, what happens when we return to norms? So
establishment figure, they sort of, show, wait a second, I can be as populist as the next guy. Now, it all has to be believable and it all has to be credible. But voters are looking for someone who can both relate and relate to them and their problems, as well as resolve solutions that we actually know work. So I think that, in a nutshell, is what people are looking at.
Sounds good. And I think they have a chance to play out this audience, too. I mean, they really want to hear some ideas tonight, Laura.
Yeah, I think the fight.
Coming in, everyone in the chat now. If anyone's still here, they've gone to the issue.
In the end, the Americans know what the problems are that are facing the country. And they need to believe that you don't just relate to them, but you can actually solve the problems. And before you solve the problems, you have to be able to beat Biden, which means you have to get to 270 votes.
Okay.
So what states that...
So here's the idea.
Are you going to be able to win? And
The debate starts less than 20 minutes. I'm going to watch it, but I'm just going to monitor the background on streaming. So I'm going to have the TV on behind the camera. I'm looking at the camera right now. Yeah, pretty much.
Thank you so much, Laura. Can we get some predictions now? You two, Sean Hannity, his wage in Milwaukee. Good evening, sir.
I should be able to.
My two favorite people are
It's a video on that.
Great to see you guys, and I hope to see you in a few moments in person, because we're really not that far apart. Welcome to Milwaukee. It's going to be a fun night tonight.
Sean, as you look at this, right, 8 on stage, what do you hope to see? What do you think we'll see?
Laura used the word that I often use about debates. You're looking for moments. You can think back, Reagan, I'm not going to let my opponent's youth and inexperience be a factor in this campaign. The whole room erupts. Even Walter Mondale started laughing. It was such a good line. That was a moment. Or on the other side of it, Lloyd Benson, Jack Kennedy, I thought that was kind of mean, low blow by Benson towards Dan Quayle. So I would say that, look who comes in there and is comfortable. I would think Vivek is probably going to surprise a lot of people. He seems very comfortable in front of a camera. He seems ready to go. I just saw Ron DeSantis. He seemed ready to go. He seemed in a great mood, lighthearted. I saw Mike Pence. And I just think this, for all the talk about Donald Trump not coming, I think these guys, they should be glad he's not coming. Because he sucks
Check one, check two.
98.5% of all the oxygen in the room. And this hopefully will give them an opportunity. Focus them, I focus less on attacking other people there and explaining to America what are the values you hold dear, what are the principles, your governing principles. How are you going to fix the economy? What are you going to do on the border? What are you going to do with law and order? How does America take back its position as the dominant world leader, the sole superpower in the world, which I think Joe Biden has abdicated? Comparing and contrasting, conservative ideas with Joe Biden's failures, I think would be a good strategy tonight.
Okay, well, you're in the spin room. We'll see if you're right, okay? Afterwards, we'll be going right to you, Sean. Nice to see you tonight.
All right, I expect to grade tomorrow on your show. When you guys are on tomorrow, I expect you both to grade me and see if my predictions are right.
We shall do that. We'll shoot you fast.
But he did say for his favorite people, so I think it's going to be a pretty high grade. I would imagine. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
Well, the first punches in tonight's high-stakes verbal slugfest are about to be thrown, and the candidates are about to be taking the stage.
So we will get last-minute analysis from Carl Rove and Kellyanne Conway. You see the stage inside. Brett Martha getting warmed up, and Natalie Grant's about to sing our national anthem. Do not miss a moment.
Okay, maybe it's just me. But since when did they start the debates? Not just presidential debates, but like the primary debates with the anthem. That's a little odd to me. Did they always start with the anthem? I think they did. Unless he was being sarcastic, I wasn't really listening. You're back good from the here still? I think I lost some viewers because of the... minutes.
Half-Face says, I think we're the only people watching the debate.
Welcome back to Milwaukee, just minutes away from the main political event of the summer. That is Ronna McDaniel. She's got a big job. She runs the RNC, and she's pretty much the commander-in-chief of this event tonight. She has about 4,000 guests with her.
Being pulled in lots of different directions. So let's get some last-minute analysis. Joining us now, Carl Rove and Kellyanne Conway. Kellyanne, let's start with you. This morning you had a piece on FoxNews.com about the 6 key things you're going to look for. Has that changed at all over the course of the day?
It has not. And I made the point in that piece, Dana, Bill, that politically speaking, nobody had a better 2022 than Ron DeSantis, and nobody's had a worse 2023 than Ron DeSantis. He's got a real opportunity tonight to reset, to regain the traction, the excitement around his campaign. He has debated in the past Adam Putnam, Andrew Gillum, Charlie Crist, the other seasoned debaters on the stage, Chris Christie and Mike Pence, know their way around the podium. I don't think they'll have any kind of stage fright. And I believe the task for each of these candidates is to both portray confidence, but also to project competence. And if you're hung up on something or somebody's making you angry, it's incredibly important to stay calm and remember your audience is not each other. It's not even the moderators necessarily. The audience is we the people. So look in that camera and take your case directly to the people. Last thing, all these candidates are under pressure and none of them are under oath. I know that our moderators are going to press them hard on some of the suppositions and some of the salesmanship they're trying to make tonight. That's important too.
All right, in a moment here, we expect the candidates to walk out.
Oh, sorry, I don't want to be like...
If we have to interrupt Carl, we shall. But in the meantime, Carl, set the stage for...
Filming anybody?
Well, if everybody has to...
I gotta change my battery, stand by.
But it's this is a high stakes game, and it's hard to keep on plan, but you have to walk in with a plan and try and stick to it.
Got it.
And
That's the Mike Tyson theory.
And the candidates are walking out now. Let's take a look here as they line up. It was by order of polling, so that's how you see how this ended up. You have Vivek Ramaswamy and Ron DeSantis there in the middle, Nikki Haley in light blue there, and Mike Pence on either side of them. And as these candidates get ready to take the stage, they're just going to have a chance to see each other after trading barbs in the press.
Yeah.
The last little
What's interesting is Ramaswamy and Nikki Haley are right next to each other. They've kind of gone at it in one form or another based on foreign policy. I would expect to see something from her directed toward him. Ron DeSantis, Britt mentioned this a couple of minutes ago. He's really been under fire for the past 4 weeks, and we'll see how he rebounds tonight.
Governor Doug Burgum, he'll be screen right there. He was in the hospital this morning, having tore his Achilles tendon. And Asa Hutchinson was the last addition to the debate stage. He's on your far left. He's the former governor of Arkansas.
Carl, we interrupted you. Go ahead with your final thoughts before tonight begins.
Well, look, these men have prepared, men and women have
Right.
prepared for this event tonight. But literally every bit of preparation goes out.
We're taking the stage, guy. I need to make sure.
Because it's a unique environment that they really haven't prepared themselves for. There's no way you can. And how well they do tonight is going to be a testament of their own native abilities and their ability to adjust to the changing circumstances they find themselves in.
Good stuff. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Kellyanne. We'll see what we get in minutes. Doug Burgum, by the way, is far stage right. Playing basketball this morning, tore his Achilles tendon. Showed up in the green room earlier today on crutches. I didn't see him on crutches. It looked like he had some sort of leg brace on that.
He said that compared to what the men and women in blue do for us, he said this was nothing. So we're back with our panel now. Britt Hume, Harold Ford Jr., and Trey Gowdy. Britt, what about Trump not being here tonight? How do they deal with that?
Well, I guess he's did this pre-taped interview with Tucker Carlson for presentation on Twitter. I'm interested to see how that goes and whether any real news is made out of that. My thought is that it's risky to skip a debate. We saw it happen to Ronald Reagan when he skipped the aisle.
Well, it's not risky for Trump to skip the debate because his poll numbers are so damn high.
H.W. Bush into the lead.
He'll win the primary anyways.
Reagan eventually overtook him and won the nomination, but
More likely.
H.W. Bush would have been president if he had won Iowa in 1980. He wouldn't have gotten the vice presidential nomination, wouldn't have been able to stay in the race, but he had a foothold in the race, stayed in the race, ended up being president of the United States. So it can be consequential skipping debates. It's risky.
How about I start the debate portion of it? People are just going away. Yeah, nobody's here.
Going after Donald Trump, and he's talked about perhaps putting Ron DeSantis in his crosshairs.
Yeah, well,
Heck is going on?
all eight have something he's on. They're behind. They're behind a lot to the guy that's not there. So if they want, they can quarrel among themselves, but they got to catch Secretariat right now. You better make the case. Same ideas, fewer indictments. I mean, somebody's got to make the case. I got the same ideas Donald Trump has, but you don't need to worry about me making initial appearances and whether or not I can make bond if I'm the president. Unless you make that case to Trump supporters, they're going to stay behind.
Josh Holmes has been making the point that this is no longer survive in advance. It's you got to knock somebody out when you're that far behind. Harold.
But I hope that Trey gave that advice to a candidate out of South Carolina that he just gave us here on the set. Foreign policy will play, I think, a lot more prominently. Britt and I were talking about this earlier. These candidates, I think, will be able to distinguish and differentiate themselves with that. Our mate on the 5, Jesse Waters, earlier today said that he hopes that these guys are not looking, these guys and Governor Haley are not looking to get applause. They're looking for that silent approval, a real leadership, big vision-like thing for the country. They're able to do that. The country,
99 minutes on the camera.
Debate is the best thing for democracy, and we'll get a chance to see.
I wonder if I'm a little underexposed. No, I should be fine.
Well, I think you can. I think foreign policy is way down on the list when you ask people what they're interested in. I think I'd be disappointed though if we didn't have a real discussion, particularly about whether, and it's controversial among Republicans now, to stick with it in Ukraine.
Interesting. We've had developments in Russia on board today. Trey, when you talk to a lot of people here in Milwaukee, they bring up immigration. And in the past 11 months...
Maybe I'll move the camera over this way. It's not so close to the speaker.
People on the no-fly list have been apprehended at the border.
Make sure the sound's not too loud, because then it's going to be kind of...
I think you are right and they are right. What shocked me was during the midterms, people who listed the border as their number one issue kind of broke. 55% 55-45. I mean, you would think that Republicans would do really well among people who say the border is the #1 issue, but they don't. The same with crime. So the fact that they think border and immigration is #1 doesn't necessarily mean they're going to break Republicans.
Harold, gun rates are saying #2 in that poll, guns and crime. So it'll be interesting to see if we raise that issue to how that issue is.
What about the economy? How do you frame this tonight for these 8 Republicans?
I think
put
you
out
have
a
to give us some
notification
answers,
on
give us
Twitter
some
that
thoughts.
it's still on.
It's easy to say you don't like what Biden's
People
doing,
are-
that he's take Bidenomics not working, but give us some plans and ideas.
Good deal. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Great to have you
Pleasure.
on
Brett,
the show tonight. Thank
Trey,
you.
Harold, thank you. It is close to 9 o'clock Eastern Time, almost time for Brett and Martha, and the first primary debate of the cycle, and here we go, America. But before we go, let's make an entrance. What do you say, Dana?
I would love to do this. Let's see and check this out. We are going to take you back inside Pfizer Forum to hear 9-time Grammy nominee and 5-time CMA Dove Awards Female Vocalist of the Year, Natalie Grant, singing our national anthem.
And she is outstanding, and so is this. This is a live drone shot now, working its way through the arena. As we showed you this morning on America's Newsroom, you want to grab your popcorn, right?
Well, I was thinking that tonight I would love a...
She used to have like everything decked out.
And you can get that here. This is Natalie Grant, and let's go.
Oh yeah, Tucker Carlson is doing an interview right now with Donald Trump, which I can't really watch both at the same time, so I'll watch that after. I've never, this might just be me, but I've never seen anyone sing the anthem at a presidential debate nor a primary debate, so I don't know. This is just me, I think this is weird. I'm dropping everything. I was like, everything I touched today. Just drop. I don't know why I'm lip syncing, but.
And what a stirring way to begin the first primary debate of this 2024 election season. The candidates are on the stage. Martha and Brett are going to start the questioning in our drone.
Yeah.
As we're right in.
I mean, see, it almost makes you feel like play ball, right, Harold? I mean, let's go. Let's go inside Pfizer Arena. The people here in Milwaukee have been fantastic, and they are giving us to the
I feel like there's a delay between my audio and video. It's like my lips are moving before I'm speaking.
First event of the political season. Where we end up in November of 2024, it's anyone's guess, but tonight is the first step in that direction. Enjoy it, America. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Brett and Martha, take it from here. Good night.
Some call it the heartland. Others flyover country. But for the 2024 presidential hopefuls, the Midwest is the place to land. Here there is one battleground that may be harder to win than ever. Wisconsin. A state known for its beer and cheese, gridiron and grit, and also its razor-thin elections. In 2016, Republicans narrowly flipped the vector state red for the first time since Ronald Reagan. But it was back to blue by 2020. That election came during an unprecedented year. The country was rife with tension. In the suburbs of Milwaukee, the division seemed deeper than ever. But that was just the beginning. 2 years later, the U.S. Supreme Court struck down Roe versus Wade, leaving the legality of abortion up to the states. In Wisconsin, that meant...
As I mentioned, I got a notification that the Trump interview with Tucker Carlson is starting right now. And I just got notification saying that Trump said during the interview he believes no one on the GOP debate stage tonight can become U.S. president, which makes sense because, I mean, first of all, I've been saying the whole time that these poll numbers are higher, but I mean, there are a few candidates up there that are likable, but they don't have the base that Trump has. So it's hard to compete with someone like him, I feel like. So
Tonight, the race for the White House takes flight. Welcome to the first debate of the 2024 presidential campaign, live at Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee.
8 Republican candidates have qualified and have chosen to be here on our debate stage tonight. They are here to lay out their vision for America, the battle as they battle for the GOP.
we have 2 people watching now.
Good evening,
We actually have people watching now. We had nobody for the longest time, which is, I don't blame anyone for not wanting to watch. But you were having issues with the stream quality dropping around. I didn't check that again. Let's see where we're at here.
Center stage. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Former Vice President Mike
If anyone is here right now, let me know in the comment section. Unless you're just lurking.
New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. Former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson.
And North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum.
Some ground rules for tonight. We'll ask the questions, and then candidates get 1 minute to answer. If someone is singled out, you get 30 seconds to respond. And when the time runs out, we all will hear this. Very pleasant.
So tonight, these candidates have a big opportunity to break out of the pack and to explain why they are best prepared to be the Republican choice for president. At a time when the likely Democrat nominee, President Joe Biden, is working to convince the country that with Bidenomics, things are looking up.
We call my plans Bidenomics. I'm not sure the men in them totally complimentary way at the time. But guess what?
But is it? More than 65% of Americans say the country is headed in the wrong direction. And here's the reality for some voters we've talked to here in Wisconsin this week.
We have noticed a dramatic increase in prices at the grocery stores across the board.
Gas is high, and food is high. A lot of people out here homeless because they can't buy food.
It's tough when your mortgage rates at 7-8% versus 2 or 3. It's just you can't afford the house anymore.
Inflation is ridiculous. It's killing us out here.
We sit here tonight. The #1 song on the Billboard chart is called Rich Men North of Richmond. It is by a singer from Farmville, Virginia, named Oliver Anthony. His lyrics speak of alienation, of deep frustration with the state of government and of this country. Washington, D.C. is about 100
Filling my
miles
water bottle.
north of Richmond.
Vivek Ramaswamy looks pretty comfortable right now.
Why is this
Smile on his
song
face.
striking such a
Maybe that's just
nerve?
maybe that's just my perception, but he doesn't
What
look
do you think
nervous.
it means?
Our country
children and their grandchildren. It's robbing our country and it's wrong.
Well, Governor, let me just follow up very quickly. New Jersey, when you were governor, had the second lowest credit rating in the nation after Illinois, and it was downgraded 11 times.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you inherit a blue state that has done that. But when you look at what we did on debt, Fred, in that state, we cut debt in that state. Debt that had been left to us by 3 Democratic gubernatorial predecessors of mine who ran up that debt tremendously. And what you also saw us do was to cut the unemployment rate in half. It was over 10% when I became governor in 2010. What we also did was cut pension payments to public employees to make sure that taxpayers were not being soaked by a public employee union system that was killing the taxpayer.
Thank you, Governor.
Governor Scott, Tim Scott, Senator Scott, excuse me. The song also goes after welfare programs. As a senator, now President Biden argued for freezing federal spending, this was back in the 80s, and dealing with sacred cows. He does not talk about that anymore. You have been a senator, though, for 10 years. So what have you done to rein in the increasing size of government?
Well, thank you for the question. Over the last several years, I've had an opportunity to vote against spending packages.
2 people in those meetings. Someone else also watching.
What we also need to understand is that Joe Biden's Bidenomics has led to the loss of $10,000 of spending power for the average family. When you see 16% inflation, your gas is up 40%, your food is up 20%, your electricity is up 20%. We can stop that by turning the spigot off in Washington, sending the money back to the states, and allowing the decisions to be made at their own houses. I helped write the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act in 2017. We cut taxes for a single mom like the one that raised me by 70%, for dual households by 60%, returning to the average family $4,000. If you don't send it to Washington, we can't spend it. That's good news for the American people.
Okay, but just to follow up, you did, during the Trump administration, you approved 4.4 trillion, 4.1 trillion, 1.7 trillion over the course of that administration. That's a lot of money.
There's no doubt that during the Trump administration, when we were dealing with the COVID virus, we spent more money. But here's what happened at the end of our time in the majority. We had low unemployment, record low unemployment, 3.5% for the majority of the population, 70-year low for women. African Americans, Hispanics, and Asians had an all-time low, but our inflation was at 2%. Under Joe Biden, we've seen the exact opposite. We've seen inflation explode, which led to 12 Federal Reserve increases that's devastating home buyers today.
Mr. Ramaswamy, you're listening to...
If I may,
hold on one second.
I don't know if I get a chance to respond.
He didn't mention you specifically, but we'll be with you in a second, Mr. Vice President. Mr. Ramaswamy, listening to all of this, why should voters choose you over more experienced politicians on the stage? You're basically, a blank slate for people. You're 38 years old. You've said that you only voted in 2 presidential elections before this moment, this political race.
So first, let me just address a question that is on everybody's mind at home tonight. Who the heck is this skinny guy with a funny last name, and what the heck is he doing in the middle of this debate stage? I'll tell you, I'm not a politician, Brett. You're right about that. I'm an entrepreneur. My parents came to this country with no money 40 years ago. I have gone on to found multi-billion-dollar companies. I did it while marrying my wife, Aporba, raising our 2 sons, following our faith in God. That is the American dream. And I am genuinely worried that that American dream is
reminds me of
our 2 sons and their generation unless we do something about it. And I do think Brett is going to take an outsider. Because for a long time,
Wheel of Fortune or something? That little bell goes up. I'm watching Wheel of Fortune or something.
Now is our moment to start running to something. To our vision.
See something? I'm somebody who kind of pays attention to a little bit of the production or something like this. So when I'm hearing that bell, I can't help but think it's someone's game show.
Then Mr. Ramaswamy, who is a successful entrepreneur nationally right Pence, you've got Tim Scott, you've got Mike Pence. They all voted to raise the debt, and Donald Trump added $8 trillion to our debt. And our kids are never going to forgive us for this. And so at the end of the day, you look at the 2024 budget, Republicans asked for $7.4 billion in earmarks. Democrats asked for $2.8 billion. So you tell me who are the big spenders. I think it's time for an accountant in the White House.
Vice President Pence. You mentioned that 54% of voters say the cost of groceries is a, quote, major problem for them. You blame the Biden administration spending for that increase. But as Vice President, your administration spent more than any prior, $7.8 trillion added to the national debt.
All right, well,
$5 trillion of that before COVID. So does that mean that you're...
I think I'm gonna leave this stream going much longer, but
Thanks for letting me respond.
I'm not gonna monitor the whole debate. But I'll update it if you follow my news account, Christian Shackleton News on Twitter, or I guess on X now. I'll update about what's happening with the debate there. But I could have posted an update on that in my news channel. But I'm not gonna like...
You asked earlier who's the most best prepared for this job.
I'm not gonna like announce any streams on that account until I have that guy's kind of
And even the one that's probably looking on. I think unquestionably I'm the best.
like another channel or something where I do news and talk about current events and podcasts and stuff. So I don't want, this is not the focus of this channel. So anyways, I don't think I have anybody hanging around that's getting any evidence. I'm kind of tuned out now, so I'm going to go ahead and end this stream. Thanks for joining. There'll be more videos to come. The next stream you see, I'll be at home. Appreciate you all joining. That stream will be very much longer. Well, it's not my cabin, but my aunt would be fine with the stream if she would be here. But I'm going to go ahead and end this now. And thanks for joining. Thanks for hanging around. And I'm going to continue watching this. Other thing is, I'd like to keep on covering this on the air, but I also kind of want to watch this without cameras just facing the wires everywhere, so I just want to watch this, and the problem is, I'm too distracted by this, I don't have much to say on camera right now, so, because I'm watching this, it's keeping me from talking, so I'm going to end now, and thanks for joining. I'm going to hit the stop streaming button now, and